Alright, check it. We already looked at how energy flows in an ecosystem through food webs and food chains. Now we're going to be looking at how matter cycles. No, not mad recycles. Matter cycles. The matter cycles we're going to be looking at are called biogeochemical cycles. Biogeochemical? That's a big word. Alright, let's break it down. Bio, you already know, means life. Geo means earth. And chemical means chemical. So we got earth, we got life, we got chemicals, and they're all just like cycling around, right? Nope. Now the first cycle we're going to be looking at is the water cycle. You probably remember water from that one time you took a bath. The second cycle is the carbon cycle. And the third and final cycle is the nitrogen cycle.
So most of the air that we breathe is nitrogen, and if you took all that air and you compressed it and you got it really cold, you could make liquid nitrogen. So that's what this is right here. Okay. So this is liquid nitrogen. So put on your gloves.
Very
We're going to make
right
a little cloud, so that's why you have your raincoat on, just in case people are wondering, all right? So this goes here like this. And so now I want you to hang on to it. It's 320 degrees below zero, okay? So I'm going to just kind of scoop some up like this. So this is our liquid nitrogen here. So it looks like water, but it's not. And so here, watch this. This is hot water. So if you take some of this liquid nitrogen and pour it into the hot water, I want you to see the little cloud that we make. Ready? Okay.
Oh.
So, no, dump the whole thing in. That's fine. See how that works?
Yes.
Here, so watch this. See, isn't that kind of cool how that just kind of goes everywhere?
Yes, it's very cool.
That's kind of fun. All right. All right, so here's the deal. I'm going to pour the hot water into the liquid nitrogen, and then you'll just see a little cloud up here.
Okay.
Okay? All right, see you later. All right, here we go. You ready? All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1.
That's cool.
Pretty awesome.
Alright, let's start with the water cycle, also known as the hydrologic cycle. Hydrologic? That's another big word. That's why we call it the water cycle. But you're going to have to get used to big words. So, hydrologic cycle. Hydro because water, and logic because it makes sense. I just made that up. Alright, water cycle. On Earth, we have oceans, lakes, and streams full of liquid water. When that liquid water warms up, it will turn into water vapor, which is a gas. We call that evaporation. The evaporated water, now a gas, will rise up into the atmosphere. Another way for water to move from Earth into the atmosphere is through transpiration, which is just evaporation off of plants. It's basically plant sweat. Once in the atmosphere, the water vapor will cool down back into water droplets. We call that condensation, and that's how we have clouds. From those clouds we get precipitation, which is just wet stuff falling from the sky, basically. Rain, snow, sleet, hail is all precipitation. That's all how water returns to the earth from the atmosphere. Once on Earth, the water will flow over the land back into the oceans, lakes, and streams. We call that runoff. If it's not flowing over the land, it's flowing into the land and filtering through the soil. We call that percolation, not pictured here. When the water percolates through the soil, it will accumulate underground. We call that groundwater, because, it's in the ground. Alright, on to the carbon cycle. In our atmosphere, we have carbon, which we call atmospheric carbon. Now it's a little repetitive and redundant, but the carbon in our atmosphere is in the form of carbon dioxide, which is one carbon atom bonded to two oxygen atoms. Atmospheric carbon gets there through respiration, combustion, and decomposition. Respiration is when organisms breathe, giving off carbon dioxide as a waste product. When organisms die, they're decomposed. Since all living things contain carbon in them, that carbon, after decomposition, is released into the earth. The carbon in the earth becomes fossil fuels: coal, oil, or natural gas. Humans have been digging up these fossil fuels and burning them for energy. We call that combustion. When we combust fossil fuels, we're releasing more carbon into the atmosphere. Carbon can be pulled back out of the atmosphere and brought back down into Earth through photosynthesis, which is when organisms use carbon dioxide along with light and water to produce energy. Alright, last but not least, the nitrogen cycle. Just like carbon, nitrogen is found in the atmospheric nitrogen, in the form of N2. That's 2 nitrogen atoms bonded to each other. Plants will absorb nitrogen from the atmosphere, and when animals eat plants, they'll take the nitrogen from their bodies. Plants and animals use nitrogen for energy and production. DNA, for example, contains nitrogen. When plants and animals and other living things that contain nitrogen die, they'll be broken down, and the nitrogen in their bodies will be released into the soil. Another way for nitrogen to be taken from the atmosphere and put into the soil is through nitrogen-fixing bacteria. Nitrogen-fixing bacteria convert the atmospheric nitrogen into ammonium. Ammonium is 1 nitrogen atom bonded to 4 hydrogen atoms. Nitrifying bacteria will convert that ammonium into nitrites and nitrates. We call this nitrification. Nitrites is 1 nitrogen atom bonded to 2 oxygen atoms. Nitrates is 1 nitrogen atom bonded to 3 oxygen atoms. I know what you're thinking. Those aren't even big words and I'm confused. Don't worry about that too much right now. Denitrification is when denitrifying bacteria convert the nitrates, NO3, back into atmospheric nitrogen, N2. I hereby declare this video over. Write down any questions that popped up in your head while watching it, and come back and, don't ask me, ask someone else.